economy, I'm so happy that Honorable Minister IT and Electronics, Ashwin Vaishnav also is here. So, ma'am, give me just 2 more minutes. So, this is why it is very essential that R&D, which is the bedrock of scientific discoveries or technological innovation, is so essential if we are to tackle the challenges of our country, whether it's climate change or food insecurity or other things. Ma'am, just couple of issues which I would like to quickly highlight. One is the independence of the governing board. Though the NRF in the bill itself talks of independence and autonomy of the board, I hope that the government will follow it in letter and spirit. And that,
please conclude, your time
just
is
ma'am,
over.
just one more
Please,
minute,
please.
and that clear and transparent criteria is laid out for selection of the scientists who will be part of the board. Secondly, there will be more focus on allocating sufficient fund to the state universities also, not just the IITs, not just the central universities, but state universities also get fund. And finally, ma'am, social research, social science, humanities is as essential as pure science. And this is why the governing board should consist of eminent social scientists as well. Ma'am, just 30 more seconds. Ma'am, technology will decide the geopolitics of our time. It will decide the destiny of nations. It's the new wealth, ma'am. Technology is the new wealth of nation. This is why the choice we make today as a nation, as to the direction of our research, direction of our technology, will decide whether we become a great power. Ma'am, I'll end by just saying one of my favorite quote. Ma'am, the single most factor which decides the intellectual, social, or economic progress of a nation or the well-being of its citizens is dependent on the creation and acquisition of knowledge. This is why this is a great bill, ma'am, and I support it. Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, Jai Vigyan, Jai Anusandhan.
Thank you. Mananya Ayodhya Rami Reddy Allah.
For giving me the opportunity to talk on the Anusandhan National Research Foundation Bill 2023. Madam, this bill is a very transformative one that holds the immense promise for India's future. The establishment of NRF is going to set up and going to give a new direction to reshape our nation's research, innovation and entrepreneurial landscape. Madam, we have to understand the current status of research and development in our country and also the innovation and the entrepreneurial landscape. If we have to see the current status, I think we need to do a lot, even though this bill is delayed, but I think very happy that it has come at the right time. For India to be a developed nation, certainly the research and innovation in line with our needs certainly have to be looked at. And today when I see in sectors like infrastructure, in manufacturing, agriculture and services, all the 4 sectors if we look at, I think, we have not innovated. We just borrowed certain things and we are trying to move with that. The time has come. Certainly on innovation, India with its own geopolitical situations need to innovate solutions for themselves. A lot of focus need to go into that. Same as research also. Lot of, we have our Sanatan, value system. Taking that into consideration, we have to move on improving our research initiatives, which I'm sure the world will be just looking forward to, and we have that important responsibility. If I have to say on the agriculture side also, there is so many innovative thoughts that were there at the ground level, and also entrepreneurial skills that are available. This, I think, NRF, under the chairmanship of Honorable Prime Minister, I think it is really going to give a direction. The status, if you look at India, we are just 255 researchers per million people. Against the developed countries, more than 4,000 to 5,000. The entire machinery that we have to look at, around the research, I think, from the village level to the research, to the universities level, there is a, we don't have the adequate machinery that need to be looked at, and all that must come as a strategic planning from NRF. And then the money. Money also we spend very, very little. Just 0.65% of the GDP is spent by India against a global average of 1.8%, and especially the developed nations 2 to 3% and even up to 5%. So what I only want to say, madam, this particular bill is going to is handy in identifying our requirements for this nation on research, development, innovation, and entrepreneurial landscape, and identifying a master plan and putting up the right teams in place, teams starting from the highest level of research to up to the ground realities of agriculture. We need to have the right kind of budget allocations in place, and that sort of a roadmap, I think, is going to give a direction to this country, and this bill is very apt, and we support this bill from YSR Congress Party. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you. माननीय कनक मेदुला रविंद्र कुमार.
Thank you, madam, for giving this opportunity. The Anusandhan National Research Foundation will proposes to establish National Research Foundation. This body aims to direct research in the strategic area ranging from science to humanities. It plans to involve the private sector, which currently contributes around 36%, to research and development. Expenditure is to bigger way. Not only this bill provides to undertake an annual survey of outcomes of scientific research in India with a view to create a central repository for the collection, interpretation and analysis of information and data surrounding such research, and the aims of repository would include providing information for policy formulation and advising the central government and state government as well as private sector. The bill proposes to create a conducive atmosphere to promote research in every field. Coming to the bill, this bill is section clause 3 is the object is the foundation to serve the apex body to provide high-level strategic directions for research, innovation and entrepreneurship in the fields of natural science, including mathematical science, engineering, technology and environmental. But the establishment with regard to the governing body has been constituted under the ex officio chairpersonship of Honorable Prime Minister. Definitely it will serve the purposes, but the Act provides another provision that to create an executive council to implement the provisions of the Act. But there is an ambiguity with regard to the qualifications and eligibility criteria to the members and experience, and the tenure has to be clarified. Coming to the other aspect, the constitution of committees. The Executive Council is empowered to constitute committees necessary efficient discharge of the duties and performance. The functions of the Executive Committees and the respective committees also have to be clarified. That is, there is no specific provision in this Act. And in the light of the above proposed clauses,